Let's introduce a very controversial topic in this video. How to use gossips as a tool to learn a foreign language. If you are on the way to learn a foreign language, you will need to know that sometimes the talking point in the conversation, or basically, since you are trying to learn a language for business purpose, a business conversation or a business interaction developed on talking points that sometimes involve some sort of a gossip. Customers or potential customers are more likely to be talking to you about their previous experiences with other members of the same company where you are, or for previous services they used to have. They want to make sure that you will provide and you will deliver this time around. My name is Renato. This is my language trainer. And hit the bell and hit the subscribe button down there if you want me to actually keep updating you with these different topics. Unveil it. Let's jump into this. Let's jump into how to use gossip as a tool to learn a language. If you are trying to learn a language to boost your career, like you that are on the other side of the camera, and even if you want to be one like me, be sitting this side of the aisle, this end, you need to know that a professional conversation or any interaction that has to do with business have a different trend than a, let's say, a family or friend conversation. Somebody that is trying to become your customer, or it is your customer, has his or her talking point, and sometimes customers or potential customers are referring to you or talking to you about somebody's previous conversations, and they want to talk to you about their past experience, and that's how the conversation gets into a gossiping conversation type. So how can you get ready and prepare yourself for this kind of a mechanism? How do you learn and train yourself on knowing that the way a business conversation develops, it is different, let's say rather different than a casual conversation. You need to know exactly what you want to learn, what you want to know, what you have to know of the language that you need for use it in this career. Remember, you're not trying to learn any language for you to be a university professor. You don't want to learn English or French or Spanish for you to be teaching. For example, you want to boost and improve your earnings. You want to make more money in your career and you want more customers. So you need to know that you need to use what we call active listening and know exactly and expect that the conversation, the chain of the conversation, the mechanism of the conversation will be developed in talking points that sometimes you do not have control of. So do not expect when you are with the customer to be talking about the four kids that you have and how what is the color of your house, of your cars. You might expect that if you're talking to your friends, but when you're talking with the customer, the chain of conversation, the way the conversation develops and talking points in that conversation will be different, and you need to expect gossip. So how to use gossip, type conversation into how to learn a language. Or let's say focus your learning process on the actual talking points that you need to expect when you are in a business conversation. So let's just go ahead and jump into these four tips and guidelines I'm gonna be able to hand to you right this minute. Number one tip and guideline: acknowledge that interactions in any language community are based on descriptions, and in a business conversation will not always be talking about how tall you are or the color of your house or car. Customers' needs vary depending on what they expect from you as a provider, as a professional. So you need to expect sometimes that the member and the customer is going to talk to you about their previous experiences as a customer. Sometimes involve talking points that refers to other people's services and even to their personal life. Number two, tip and guideline number two, make sure you play a passive role. You don't want to escalate. You need to try to just practice the active listening. Number three, de-escalate and downplay the conversation if you can. Number four, tip number four, judge yourself by focusing your learning process based on your personal needs. Be aware that most of the time the conversation is going to be on reviewing past people actions and their credibility and repercussions involving the person on the other end of the phone line or texting or with a live conversation. And the best tools for learning a real life and dynamic content interactional mechanism are the following: Spanish songs better with karaoke, short stories, big broadcasting news related to your career, profession, and your personal interests, popular talk shows, and movies. So these are the ways you need to, let's say, focus your learning on knowing that you need to expect sometimes when you are in a business interaction that gossips is gonna be one of the domain and let's say most of the talking point will be let's say led by talking or listening to somebody else experience or previous experience with other previous providers, and you're gonna have to use these four guidelines for you not to get involved into misunderstanding with your customer or potential customer. So this is my language trainer, and I'm gonna be always coming up with all these topics for you that are on the other side of this camera, for you to boost your career or for you to make one. Have a good one, and please subscribe and hit the bell.